Okay, so picture this. You're running a hospital. Maybe it's on the smaller side, or maybe just like medium sized. And it's in one of those cities that's just growing like crazy. You know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Those tier two, tier three cities that are really experiencing a boom right now.
Right. Exactly. And you're facing all these challenges. Costs are just out of control, it feels like.
Hmm.
And trying to keep up with all the new medical technology is a never-ending race.
It can be really tough to stay ahead of the curve, especially for smaller hospitals with limited resources.
Yeah, you said it. And of course, through it all, you're still trying to provide the absolute best care you can to your patients, but it feels like it's getting harder and harder, right?
Absolutely. It's a
Get it.
constant balancing act.
Right. So that's what got me thinking about Medical 2025. Have you heard about it? It's happening in Kolkata this February. And from what I've been reading, it's not like those other medical equipment exhibitions. I mean, they're saying it's going to help hospital owners like you not only find the equipment you need, but also find it at the best prices. And on top of that, it's supposed to help you run your hospital more efficiently, too.
Yeah, you're right. It's their 40th edition this year, which is pretty impressive. And they're expecting over 300 exhibitors and a whole bunch of seminars on all sorts of topics.
Wow, that is pretty huge. But what's really interesting to me is that medical was actually started by a doctor, right? Dr. S. Manavanan.
That's right. He really understood the challenges that smaller hospitals were facing, especially when it came to navigating the world of medical equipment.
So it sounds like he created medical to kind of bridge that gap.
Exactly. And he realized that it wasn't enough to just showcase equipment. Hospitals need practical knowledge and connections to truly thrive. So that's why Medical has become this massive event with all these seminars covering a wide range of topics, from hospital construction to digital marketing.
I'm really intrigued by these seminars. It sounds like that's a big part of what sets medical apart. So what kind of topics are we talking about here?
Well, one that caught my eye is hospital projects. How to plan and build a 150-bedded hospital.
Okay, that sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, it is, but it's super helpful, especially if you're a hospital owner and thinking about expanding, or maybe even starting a brand new facility.
Right, because that's a huge undertaking.
Oh, for sure. But this seminar walks you through the whole process, step by step. Like it covers everything: regulatory hurdles, figuring out your budget, and even optimizing the flow of patients and staff. It's like a roadmap, basically.
Okay, so that's for like major construction projects. But what about the day-to-day stuff?
They've got you covered there too. There's another seminar called Checklists to Run Your Hospital Efficiently.
No, that sounds super practical.
It is. It's full of tips and strategies to streamline your operations, make sure your patients are safe, and stay on top of all those compliance rules.
It's like a crash course in hospital management, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, we can't ignore the digital world these days. It seems like every business needs to have a strong online presence. And I saw that Medical even has a seminar on digital marketing for hospitals.
Yeah, that's a big one. These days, it's not enough to just have a website for your hospital.
Right. You really need to be active online.
Exactly. This seminar is all about teaching hospitals how to use social media, email marketing, all that stuff, so they can reach more patients and really build their brand.
It seems like Medical is covering all the bases here. We've got seminars on expansion, on running your hospital smoothly, on marketing. But what about those core challenges that smaller hospitals are always facing? Like trying to compete with the bigger institutions with tons more money.
Well, Medical actually has a seminar that addresses that directly. It's called Survival Strategies for Small and Medium Hospitals.
Okay, I'm definitely interested in that one.
Yeah, I think a lot of hospital owners would be. They focus on things like cost optimization and using technology to your advantage.
So they talk about like getting better deals from suppliers and streamlining your processes.
Exactly. They also talk about building strong ties with your community, which can be a huge advantage for smaller hospitals.
That makes sense. There was one more seminar that I was curious about. It's the one on designing and managing cost-effective OTs.
Ah, yes, the operating theaters.
Right, because building or renovating those is no joke.
Not at all. It's a major investment.
Exactly. So I bet this seminar is packed with valuable information.
Oh, for sure. It goes through the whole process, from picking the right layout to choosing the right equipment and making sure you're meeting all the safety standards, all while trying to keep the costs under control.
So it's not just about getting the fanciest equipment. It's about making smart choices that are right for your hospital.
Exactly. And I think that's really what all these seminars are about, isn't it? They're about equipping hospital owners with practical knowledge and strategies that they can actually use.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's not just about going to medical to see what's new. It's about going there to learn how to run your hospital better and smarter.
And more cost effectively, too.
Right, exactly. Because at the end of the day, isn't that what every hospital owner wants? To be able to provide the best possible care while also managing their resources wisely.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes Medicall so unique. It's like they're saying, we understand the challenges you're facing, and we're here to help you overcome them. And
Wow.
it's not just through those seminars either. I mean, you've got hundreds of exhibitors showcasing all kinds of new medical equipment and technologies.
It's true. You're not just going to medical to attend lectures. It's also a chance to see all the latest and greatest stuff in person.
Right. And that's where the cost cutting part comes in.
Ah, yes. How to get the most bang for your buck.
Exactly. Instead of spending hours researching different suppliers and trying to haggle over prices individually, you can do it all in one place at Medicall.
It's like one-stop shopping for all your hospital's needs.
Precisely. You can compare all the different features and prices, even get expert advice from the manufacturers themselves. It's a fantastic opportunity to find the best equipment for your hospital at the most competitive prices.
I bet that competitive environment at medical really helps to drive those prices down too.
Oh, absolutely. With so many vendors all vying for your attention, you have the power to negotiate better deals. You can get favorable financing terms, and you can really make sure you're getting the best possible value for your investment. Yeah, it's a bit like having hundreds of suppliers knocking on your door, basically, all of them wanting to give you the best possible deal. And that can really add up to some serious cost savings for your hospital.
I can definitely see that. But, beyond just saving money, I'm also fascinated by the idea of connecting with other hospital owners at medical. I mean,
Mhm.
you could learn so much from each other's experiences
Oh, absolutely. Don't underestimate the networking power of an event like this. It's invaluable.
because everyone's dealing with similar challenges.
Exactly. Like imagine you're struggling with something specific at your hospital. Let's say you're trying to implement a new electronic health record system, or you're trying to figure out how to schedule your staff more effectively.
Those big ones for sure.
They are. But chances are someone else at medical has already tackled those same problems. And they can offer you insights, maybe even connect you with the right people or resources to help you out.
It's like tapping into this collective pool of knowledge and experience, like a support system for hospital owners.
Exactly. And those connections you make can last well beyond the event itself. You might find mentors, you might find people to collaborate with, or even just make friends in the industry. People who can support you and offer guidance long after Medicall is over.
That's incredible, especially for those who might be feeling kind of isolated or overwhelmed by all the demands of running a hospital.
Yeah, it's about building a community, realizing that you're not alone in this journey.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about the cost savings, the knowledge sharing, the networking, but let's bring it back to our listener for a minute. If you're a hospital owner and you're already juggling a million things, why should you make the time to go to medical?
That's a great question. So, imagine this. You leave medical and you don't just have a pile of brochures, right? You've got actual strategies that you can use to make your hospital run better. You've got a network of people you can turn to for support. And maybe you even scored some amazing deals on essential equipment. That sounds like a pretty worthwhile investment of your time, doesn't it?
I'd say so. But let's be realistic. It does take time and resources to attend an event like this. So where should a hospital owner even begin? How do they make the most of their medical experience?
Well, the medical website is a great place to start. It's got tons of information about the event, the exhibitors, all the seminars that are happening.
So you can kind of browse through it all and get a feel for what's going on.
Exactly. You can check out the seminar topics, see who's speaking, and even start putting together a plan for what you want to focus on while you're there.
So it's kind of like creating your own personalized medical roadmap.
Exactly. That way you can make sure you're hitting the sessions and the booths that are most relevant to your needs. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out to the medical team directly. They're super helpful and they can guide you through the process, make sure you have a good experience.
Sounds like they've really thought of everything to make this as easy as possible for hospital owners.
Yeah, they know your time is valuable and they want to make sure you get the most out of your investment.
And hey, while you're navigating all the seminars and exhibitions, don't forget to grab some free pens and notepads. Gotta love those conference freebies.
Absolutely, it's all part of the fun. But I think we've only just scratched the surface of what medical has to offer. There are so many specific challenges that smaller hospitals face, and I think we should dig deeper into how medical can provide solutions.
You're right. Let's get a bit more specific. For example, I know a lot of hospitals struggle with finding and keeping qualified staff. especially in smaller cities. How does Medicall address that?
Yeah, that's a huge issue, and Medical actually tackles it from a few different angles. First, it gives you a chance to network with potential recruits. You can connect with healthcare professionals from all over the country, showcase your hospital and what it's like to work there, maybe even do some informal interviews right there at the event.
So it's like a mini recruitment fair happening right inside Medicall.
Exactly. Plus, a lot of the seminars and workshops dive into staff management, recruitment, and retention strategies. So you can learn about creating a positive work environment, offering competitive benefits, and providing opportunities for professional development.
I bet that's incredibly helpful for hospitals that might not have dedicated HR
Oh,
departments.
absolutely. And don't forget, medical also attracts a lot of vendors who specialize in staffing solutions for healthcare organizations. So you can connect with recruitment agencies, look into outsourcing options, find solutions that work for you and your budget all in one place.
Okay, so if staffing is a headache for you, attending Medicall could be a game changer. But let's zoom out for a second and talk about the bigger picture here. The role of smaller hospitals and the whole healthcare landscape. I mean, we're seeing more and more consolidation these days with big hospital networks getting bigger and bigger.
That's true. It can be tough for smaller independent hospitals to compete.
Right, so what does that mean for them?
Well, it's a valid concern. When the system seems to favor those big players, it's easy to feel like you're being squeezed out. But I truly believe that smaller hospitals play a vital role, especially in serving those communities that might be overlooked.
Yeah, I agree. They often have those deep roots in their communities. They understand the specific needs of their local population in a way that larger systems might not.
Exactly. And they can be more adaptable, more responsive to those changing needs. But to thrive in this environment, they need to be strategic. They need to embrace technology and find ways to stand out.
And that's where an event like Medicall can be so valuable, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's like a lifeline. It provides that platform for smaller hospitals to connect with resources, learn about best practices, and explore new ways of doing things.
It levels the playing field.
Precisely. It gives you access to the same tools and knowledge that those larger hospitals have. And let's not forget the cost factor. We talked about how medical can help you save money on equipment, but it goes even further than that.
Oh, how so?
Well, a lot of the seminars and workshops focus on cost containment strategies, helping hospitals streamline operations, negotiate better deals with suppliers, and just generally make the most of their resources.
So it's not just about spending less, it's about being smarter with your spending.
Exactly. It's about finding ways to operate more efficiently, which is good for your bottom line and ultimately helps you provide better patient care.
That makes a lot of sense.
And let's face it, going to medical does cost money. But it's so important to see it as an investment in your hospital's future. It's like attending a super concentrated crash course in hospital management.
You walk away with knowledge and connections that can really make a difference.
Exactly. And don't forget about those less tangible benefits, like the inspiration you get from seeing all those new innovations and meeting other passionate people in the field. It's like a shot of energy for your hospital and your career.
It reminds you why you got into this in the first place.
Exactly. So before you decide that medical is too expensive, really take a look at the potential return on investment. Weigh the costs against the benefits, and I think you'll be surprised at how valuable it can be.
It's about shifting your mindset. Don't think of it as a cost. Think of it as an opportunity, an investment in your hospital's future and your own professional growth.
I like that. Now, we've talked a lot about why you should go to Medicall, but let's talk about making the most of your time there. I mean, it's a huge event. It can feel overwhelming.
I can imagine. Walking into that massive exhibition hall for the first time, there are booths everywhere. So much information coming at you. Where do you even begin?
Well, the key is to have a plan. Don't just wander around aimlessly and hope you find something interesting. Before you even get to Medicall, take some time to think about your goals. What are the biggest challenges you're facing? What are your top priorities? What do you really want to learn more about?
So it's like coming up with a medical mission statement.
Exactly. You need to know what you want to get out of it. And once you have those goals in mind, you can start mapping out your medical journey. Look at the exhibitor list, see which companies you want to check out, maybe even mark them on a map.
That's smart.
And look at the seminar schedule, figure out which sessions align with your goals, and block out time in your calendar.
So it's like a strategic operation. You got to plan your attack.
That's a great way to put it. And remember, you don't have to do everything. It's better to focus on a few key areas and really dive deep than to try to do it all and end up feeling exhausted.
Right, quality over quantity.
Exactly. And don't forget to make time for networking. Schedule in some breaks, grab a coffee, chat with other people, exchange business cards.
Because sometimes the best conversations happen outside of those formal settings.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone a bit. Go to a seminar on something you don't know much about. Check out a booth you wouldn't normally go to. Talk to someone you've never met before.
It's all about being open to new experiences.
Exactly. You never know what you might learn or who you might meet.
It's like that element of surprise. It's part of the medical magic.
I like that. Now, one thing I want to address is information overload. It's easy to get bombarded with information at an event like this.
Oh yeah, it can be a lot to take in.
Right. It's like drinking from a fire hose. So how do you avoid that? First, be selective. You don't have to absorb everything. Focus on the stuff that's really relevant to you and your hospital.
So filter out the noise.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask questions. If you need clarification or you want more information, just ask. The people there are happy to help.
That's good to remember.
And take notes. I know it sounds old school, but jotting down those key takeaways, those action items, and contact information can be a lifesaver later on. You can even snap pictures of presentations or demos that you like.
Like creating your own personal medical highlight reel.
I love it. And at the end of each day, take a few minutes to review your notes, think about what you learned, and identify those key insights that you can put into action when you get back to your hospital.
So it's about turning that information into something actionable.
Exactly. Don't just let it sit there in your notebook. Make it work for you. And don't forget to reach out to the people you met. Medical is just the beginning. The real value comes from applying what you learned and nurturing those relationships.
It's like you're planting seeds at medical and then watching them grow into something amazing.
Beautifully said. But, let's be honest. Going to a big event like this can trigger some anxiety, especially if you're coming from a smaller hospital. You might feel a bit intimidated.
Yeah, I can see that. You're surrounded by all those big players,
Yeah,
those experts.
exactly. You might worry about not fitting in, about not being knowledgeable enough, about not having the resources to compete. It's normal to feel that way.
So how do you overcome those feelings?
Well, the most important thing is to remember that medical is designed to be inclusive. It's for everyone in healthcare, no matter what size hospital you're from or how much experience you have. It's a place to learn and grow and connect with other passionate people.
So shift your perspective. Don't focus on what you lack. Focus on what you bring to the table.
Exactly. You have your own unique perspective, your dedication to your community, and your passion for providing excellent care. Don't underestimate those things.
And remember, everyone starts somewhere. Even the biggest names in healthcare were once just starting out.
That's so true. So don't be afraid to ask questions, admit what you don't know, and seek advice from those who have been there before.
It's about having that beginner's mindset, that willingness to learn no matter where you are in your career.
I love that. And remember, you're not alone. There are tons of other people attending medical for the first time, and they're probably feeling those same jitters. So reach out, start conversations, make connections. You'll be surprised how supportive the medical community can be.
It's all about finding your tribe.
And don't be afraid to just be yourself. Embrace your unique perspective, share your experiences, and let your passion shine through. Authenticity is so much more valuable than trying to blend in.
So go into medical with an open mind and an open heart. Be ready to learn, be ready to connect, and be ready to embrace the incredible diversity of the healthcare community. You might just be surprised at what you discover.
Well said. Speaking of anxieties, I think we need to talk about one that often holds hospital owners back, especially at an event like this.
You mean the fear of being sold to?
Exactly. I know a lot of hospital owners worry about being pressured into buying something they don't need or being bombarded with sales pitches that are all hype.
It's like you're walking into the lion's den.
Right. But here's the thing. You are in control. You have the power. You decide what you need and what you're willing to spend.
So how do you navigate the medical marketplace with confidence and not get swept up in all the sales tactics?
First, know your budget. Before you even set foot in an exhibition hall, figure out how much you can spend and stick to it.
Set those boundaries.
Exactly. And make a list of the equipment or services you're actually interested in. Kind of like a shopping list.
So you don't get tempted by those impulse buys.
Exactly. And be skeptical. Don't just believe everything you hear. Ask tough questions. Demand to see the evidence. And if you're not convinced, walk away.
You're not obligated to buy anything.
Not at all. Medical is a fantastic opportunity to do your research, but you don't have to make any decisions right then and there. You can take your time.
Do your due diligence.
Exactly. And if you do decide to buy something, make sure you negotiate. Don't just accept the first price they give you. Shop around, use your leverage, and don't be shy about asking for discounts or extras.
You're the one holding the purse strings.
Exactly. So be assertive, know your worth, and don't be afraid to fight for what's best for your hospital. Now, it's important to be aware of those potential pitfalls, but let's not forget about the amazing opportunities that medical presents.
Right, the chance to discover those hidden gems, those innovative solutions you wouldn't find anywhere else.
Exactly. Medical isn't just about the big, well-known companies. It's also a chance for smaller companies and startups to showcase their ideas. And they often have solutions that are more affordable, more flexible, and better suited to the needs of smaller hospitals.
It's like a treasure hunt for innovation.
I love that analogy. So how do you find those hidden gems? First, be curious. Don't just stick to the booths you recognize. Explore those smaller areas. Talk to those companies you've never heard of.
Venture off the beaten path.
Exactly. And be open to new ideas. Don't write something off just because it's different. Take the time to understand it. See if it could benefit your hospital.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Exactly. Challenge those innovators. Make them explain their thinking. Make sure their solutions align with your needs and your values.
So be a discerning explorer.
Yes. Now, let's talk about something that's often overlooked when we talk about running a hospital.
What's that?
Sustainability.
Okay, sustainability is a big topic these days, but how does it apply to hospitals? I mean, their main focus is patient care, right?
Of course, patient care comes first. But here's the thing. Sustainability and patient care actually go hand in hand. They're not separate issues.
That's interesting. Tell me more.
Well, think about it. Hospitals use a lot of energy, they generate a lot of waste, and they contribute to those greenhouse gas emissions.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
Right. And all those environmental impacts can actually have negative consequences for public health.
I hadn't really thought about it that way.
It's true. Things like air pollution and climate change, those are public health issues too.
Right, they affect everyone.
Exactly. And that's where Medicall comes in. They're showcasing more and more companies that are focused on sustainability in healthcare.
So it's not just about the latest gadgets, it's about finding ways to operate more responsibly.
Precisely. And the benefits go beyond just doing what's right for the planet. Sustainable practices can save hospitals money, improve efficiency, and even improve patient care.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me some examples.
Sure, think about energy efficiency. Medical features companies that specialize in things like energy-efficient lighting, HVAC systems, building materials,
Okay, so making those upgrades can really cut down on energy use.
and that means lower utility bills.
Win-win. And it's not just those big ticket items either, right?
Right. Even small changes can make a difference. Switching to LED light bulbs, adjusting your thermostat settings, things like that.
What about waste? I know hospitals produce a lot of waste, especially medical waste.
They do. But Medical features companies with innovative waste management solutions. You've got recycling programs, composting, technologies that can safely sterilize and get rid of medical waste.
So you're reducing the amount of waste that ends up in landfills.
Exactly. And it's not just about reducing waste, it's about reusing and repurposing materials whenever possible. It's about creating a circular economy.
I like that. Closing the loop. Now, what about water? I know hospitals use a ton of water.
You're right. But Medical features companies that offer water-saving fixtures, irrigation systems, and technologies that can cut down on water use in things like laundry and sterilization.
Okay, so there are a lot of practical solutions out there.
Absolutely. And it's not just about technology either. It's about changing behaviors, creating a culture of sustainability in your hospital.
So it's everyone's responsibility.
Exactly. Educate your staff about sustainable practices, encourage them to reduce waste, conserve energy, and make a difference.
It's a team effort.
And Medical gives hospitals a chance to learn from each other, share ideas, and get inspired.
I love that. So it's not just about being green, it's about being better. Better for the planet, better for our patients, better for our communities.
Well said. Sustainability is not just a fad. It's something we all need to be thinking about. And Medical is helping to pave the way for a more sustainable future in healthcare.
So if you're a hospital owner and sustainability is important to you, Medicall is definitely the place to be. You'll find the resources, the inspiration, and the connections you need to make a difference. And remember, every little bit helps.
Exactly. Start where you are, do what you can, and don't stop trying to make things better. Now, let's talk about something that can be a bit scary for some hospital owners, especially at a big event like medical.
Okay, what's that?
The fear of making a mistake.
Oh, yeah. With so many decisions to make, all those choices about equipment, negotiating those deals, it's easy to feel overwhelmed.
Exactly. You might worry about investing in the wrong technology, choosing the wrong vendor, or missing out on a key opportunity.
So much pressure.
Right. But here's the important thing to remember. Mistakes happen. Nobody gets it right all the time. The key is to not see mistakes as failures, but as chances to learn.
So have that growth mindset.
Exactly. See setbacks as part of the process. So how can you minimize those risks at medical? First of all, do your research.
Don't go in blind.
Right. Know what your hospital needs, check out the exhibitors and seminars that align with those needs, and come prepared with questions.
So have a game plan.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask for demos, compare prices, get all the information you can. You don't have to make a decision right away. Take your time, think things through.
No need to rush into anything.
And if you're really unsure about something, talk to someone you trust, a colleague, a mentor, an industry expert. There's no shame in asking for help. In fact, it's a sign of wisdom.
It's true. Two heads are better than one.
Exactly. So go into medical with confidence, with that thirst for knowledge, and be ready for anything. Even if you do make a mistake, it's just a chance to learn and grow. The important thing is to keep moving forward, keep getting better, and keep providing the best possible care for your patients.
I love that. Now, I think it's time to address another fear that I know holds a lot of hospital owners back. It's the fear of being left behind.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Because the healthcare industry is changing so fast, right? New technologies are popping up all the time, regulations change, patient expectations are evolving. It can be hard to keep up.
It's a lot to keep track of, that's for sure. Especially if you're running a smaller hospital and you don't have unlimited resources.
Right. It can feel like you're always playing catch up.
I get it. The healthcare industry is definitely complex. But that's exactly why something like medical is so important. It's designed to help you bridge that gap, to keep you ahead of the curve.
It's like a crash course in all the latest and greatest.
Exactly. You can see the new trends, connect with people who are leading the way, and get those insights that can help you transform your hospital and stay competitive. So instead of being afraid of being left behind, see Medicall as a chance to catch up, get inspired, and maybe even jump ahead in some areas.
Love that. So don't let fear hold you back. Embrace the opportunity to learn and grow.
Equip yourself with the knowledge you need to thrive in this ever-changing healthcare environment. Medicall can be your launch pad to success in the future.
It's true. Okay, we've talked about a lot of different aspects of medical today, but I know the financial aspect can be a big hurdle for some people.
Yeah, I understand. It's natural to hesitate when you see the price tag.
Right. But we've talked about how it's really an investment, not an expense.
Exactly. Think of it as an investment in your hospital's future.
You're investing in your staff, your community, and your own growth as a leader in healthcare.
And don't forget those less tangible benefits. The inspiration you get, the connections you make, the energy you bring back to your hospital, it's invaluable.
So before you write off Medicall as being too expensive, take a closer look at what you could gain. Weigh the costs against the benefits.
You might just change your mind. Think of it as an opportunity.
Yeah, an opportunity for growth and positive change.
Okay, so let's say you've decided to go to medical. Now you have to figure out how to make the most of your time there.
Because it is a big event.
It is. So you're walking into this huge exhibition hall. There are booths everywhere. People are buzzing around. What do you do?
It's a little intimidating to think about, honestly.
Well, right. But the key, like we talked about before, is to have a plan. Don't just wander around aimlessly. Before you even get there, think about what you want to accomplish.
What are your goals for Medicall?
Exactly. Once you know what you want to get out of it, you can start planning your approach. Check out the list of exhibitors, see which ones are interesting to you, maybe even mark them on a map.
That's a good idea.
And then look at the seminar schedule, figure out which ones align with your goals, and block out time in your calendar.
So you're treating medical like a strategic mission.
I like that. And remember, you don't have to do everything. It's better to focus on a few key areas and really dive deep than to try to do it all and end up feeling overwhelmed.
Pace yourself.
Exactly. And make sure you schedule in some time for networking, grab a coffee, chat with people, exchange business cards.
Those informal conversations can be so valuable.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone a bit. Go to a seminar on a topic you don't know much about. Visit a booth you wouldn't normally think of. Or strike up a conversation with someone you've never met before.
You never know what you might discover.
Right. Embrace those unexpected moments. They
Yeah.
can be the most rewarding part of the whole experience. Now, I know we've talked about this before, but it's worth mentioning again. Information overload.
Oh, yeah, it's a real thing.
With all those booths and seminars and presentations, it's easy to get bombarded with information.
It's like trying to drink from a fire hose.
That's a great way to put it. So, how do you avoid that? First of all, be selective. You don't have to absorb everything. Just focus on the things that are really relevant to you and your hospital.
Filter out noise.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask questions if you need clarification or more information. The people there are happy to help.
And take notes.
Yes. Write down those key takeaways, those action items, any contact information that might be useful later on. You can even use your phone to take pictures of presentations or product demos.
It's like creating your own personal medical digest.
Exactly. And at the end of each day, take a few minutes to look over your notes and think about what you learned. What are those key insights that you can actually put into practice when you get back to your hospital?
Make it actionable.
Exactly. And don't forget to reach out to those people you met. Keep the conversation going. Medical is just the starting point. The real magic happens when you take that knowledge and those connections and use them to make positive changes.
It's like planting seeds and then nurturing them into something beautiful.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
Now, I know we've talked about a lot of practical tips, but before we wrap up, I want to address the emotional side of things.
Okay, what do you mean?
Going to a big event like this, especially if you're coming from a smaller hospital, can be a bit intimidating, right?
Yeah, it can definitely feel overwhelming.
Right.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by all those industry experts and big name hospitals, and it's easy to feel like you don't belong.
Like you're a small fish in a big pond.
Exactly. You might feel like you're not knowledgeable enough or that you don't have the resources to compete. It's normal to feel that way. But here's the important thing to remember. Medical is designed to be inclusive. It's for everyone in healthcare, no matter what your background is or what size hospital you're from. It's a place to learn and grow and connect with others.
So it's about shifting your mindset.
Exactly. Don't focus on what you lack. Focus on what you bring to the table. You have your unique perspective, your dedication to your community, and your passion for healthcare.
And everyone starts somewhere, right? Even the most successful people in healthcare were once just starting out.
Exactly. So don't be afraid to ask questions, admit what you don't know, and seek advice from those who have more experience. Be open to learning.
Have that beginner's mindset.
I love that. And remember, you are not alone. There are so many other people who are attending medical for the first time, and they're probably feeling those same anxieties.
So reach out to those people. Start conversations. Make connections.
Exactly. The medical community is incredibly welcoming and supportive.
You just have to put yourself out there.
And be yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not. Embrace your unique perspective, share your experiences, and let your passion shine through.
Authenticity is key.
Exactly. So go into medical with an open mind, an open heart, and be ready to connect with the amazing diversity of the healthcare community. You might be surprised at what you discover.
Beautiful.
It's true. It's really like a professional recharge, I think, for
Yeah.
hospital owners, that is.
Yeah, like a chance to step back, get some fresh perspective, and come back to your hospital with renewed energy and ideas.
Exactly. And to really make the most of that, I highly recommend spending some time on the medical website. It's really a treasure trove of information. You can see the full list of exhibitors, check out all the seminars they're offering, read up on the speakers.
Oh yeah, that's a great tip. It's like getting a sneak peek before the event even starts. You can really tailor your medical experience to fit your specific needs.
Exactly. Plus, you might even discover some hidden gems, companies or solutions that you wouldn't have found otherwise. And hey, while you're exploring the website, don't forget to snag a few of those free downloads and resources they often have available. Always a bonus.
Absolutely. Gotta love those freebies. But on a more serious note, we have to acknowledge that not every hospital owner can just drop everything and head to Kolkata for 3 days.
Right. Real life gets in the way sometimes.
Exactly. Time is precious, especially when you're running a hospital. So for those who can't make it to medical in person, are there any ways they can still tap into some of that medical magic?
Definitely. Like I said, the website is a great resource. It's like a virtual medical in itself. You can access a lot of the seminar content online, connect with exhibitors virtually, and even sign up for their newsletter to stay updated on industry trends and future events.
So it's all about making the most of the resources available, even if you can't be there physically.
Exactly. And, don't underestimate the power of your network. Reach out to colleagues or friends who are going to medical and see if they can share their insights or even bring back some information for you.
It's like having your own personal medical correspondent.
Exactly. And of course, social media is another great way to follow along. Medical is very active online, sharing updates, photos, and even live streams from the event.
It's like getting a glimpse of the action from afar.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe next year you'll be able to attend in person and experience the magic for yourself.
It's definitely an event worth putting on your calendar. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored the challenges facing hospital owners, the incredible opportunities that medical offers, and even some practical tips for making the most of this incredible event.
We've talked about saving money, boosting efficiency, staying ahead of the curve with new technologies, and the power of connecting with others in the field.
But most importantly, I think we've really highlighted how attending medical is an investment in your hospital, your staff, your community, and in your own growth as a leader in healthcare.
So, to our listeners, I encourage you to explore the possibilities, take that leap of faith, and make Medicall your own. It might just be the game changer you've been waiting for.
And if nothing else, you'll come home with a bag full of free pens and notepads.
Absolutely. But in all seriousness, keep learning, keep innovating, and keep striving to make a positive impact in the world of healthcare.
That's what it's all about.
Until next time.
And remember, you've got this.